Hello everyone, I welcome you all in lecture 4 of Structural Mechanics 2, Module 1 Analysis of Trusses, and we are discussing about the calculation of deflection. It may be horizontal or vertical deflection in case of trusses when subjected to external forces. So we'll go through one more numerical regarding statically determinate trusses. Numerical 3, statement of the numerical is something like this. Analyze the pin jointed frame as shown in the figure and find the horizontal and vertical deflection at joint B using unit load method. For all members, area of cross section is given as 2000 millimeter square and Young's modulus is given as 200 gigapascal. So this is the diagram for the analysis. So you have two members over here, AB and BC. At joint B, the truss is subjected to 100 kilonewton downward force. The length of AB is 6 meter and this length between A and C, vertical distance is 4 meter. So you can calculate what is the length of this member BC, and angle between ABC. So that angle is tan inverse of 4 divided by 6. You can calculate it as 33.69 degree. So with this, now you are aware that for analysis of vertical and horizontal deflection at joint B, you need to go for finding first of all what are the internal member forces due to applied external forces, and then we'll be applying unit load in the direction at which deflection due to applied external forces are to be calculated. So we'll go through that procedure. So with this diagram, over here 100 kilonewton force is applied in figure 3a. What we are doing is we are calculating the internal member forces due to applied external force. So if we consider a free body diagram of joint B, and if we apply method of joints for calculating internal member forces, so by applying summation Fy equal to 0 at joint B, then we can write equation as force CB, that is say FCB sin 33.69 must be equal to 100. So FCB will be 100 divided by sin 33.69, and that gives us internal member force in member CB as 180.28 kilonewton, and that will be compression. And if we apply summation Fx equal to 0 over here, then force AB, member force in member AB must be equal to cos of force in member force CB. So what equation will be? FAB minus say FCB cos 33.69 must be equal to 0. So that gives force in member AB as 150 kilonewton, and that is tensile. Now we are interested in finding vertical deflection and horizontal deflection at joint B. So first of all, we'll apply unit load at joint B vertically downward. So go through this diagram. Now unit load is applied at B vertically, and now we will be finding what are the internal member forces due to this unit load applied. So again, as what we have done over here in earlier case, we can consider a free body diagram of joint B, and we can consider method of joints to find what are the member forces in member AB and member CB when unit load is applied over here. So if you apply summation Fy equal to 0, then member force in member CB must be equal to this one unit load. So FCB sin 33.69 must be equal to 1, or FCB will be 1 divided by sin 33.69. So that gives us internal member force in member CB as 1.8, and that is compression. And again, if we apply summation Fx equal to 0 over here, then member force FAB plus member force FCB cos 33.69 must be equal to 0. So that gives member force in member AB as 1.5, and that is tension. Similarly, when we want to find the horizontal deflection taking place due to applied force, then we will be applying a unit load in horizontal direction at that particular joint. So this is the diagram. So unit load is applied over here at joint B in horizontal direction. And now if we consider a free body diagram of joint B, and if we apply method of joints, so if we apply summation Fx equal to 0 over here, then FAB and this force, this must be equal and opposite. So FBA, which is member force in member BA, that should be 1, and there is no vertical force as such. So member force in member CB must be equal to 0. So that gives us FCB necessarily should be 0. So FAB becomes 1, which is tension, and FCB becomes 0. So as usual, we'll go through that table. Say first column is member, you have two members, member AB, member BC, then capital N in second column, that is internal member forces due to applied external force. So we have calculated it as for member AB it is 150 kilonewton tension, and for member CB it is 180.28 kilonewton compression. So it is written as minus 180.28. Similarly, that small n1, that stands for when unit load is applied vertically at joint B. So due to that internal member forces, for member AB it is 1.5 tension, and for member CB it is 1.8 compression. So it is written as minus 1.8 over here. And small n2 stands for member forces due to unit load applied horizontally at joint B. And due to that force, the internal member force AB is 1 tension, and for member CB it is 0. So it is written over here. In next column, length of each member is written. For AB it is 6 meter, and for BC it is 7.21 meter, as it is calculated from this. This AB is 6 and this AC is 4 meter. So BC length becomes 7.21. And then now we will be calculating these multiplications, small n1, capital N, L. So that calculations are like this, and similarly small n2, capital N and L. That calculation gives us this column. Now if we sum this, what we want to find is summation n1 and L. So that gives us 3689.6 kilonewton meter, and similarly that summation small n2 capital N L, that gives 900 kilonewton meter. So with this we can calculate what is the vertical deflection taking place at joint B. What we can write is summation n1 n L divided by AE. So area of cross section for both members is 2000 millimeter square, and Young's modulus is 200. It is given. So here this summation n1 n L, this value 3689.6 is in kilonewton meter, because this capital N is in internal member force due to externally applied force. So this is in kilonewton and length is in meter. So this is in kilonewton meter. You need to convert it into Newton millimeter by multiplying it by 10 to the power 6. And area is given, area of cross section 2000 millimeter square, and Young's modulus is given as 200 gigapascal. So that is converted into megapascal as 200 into 10 to the power 3. So this calculation gives us vertical deflection at joint B due to applied force is 9.22 millimeter. And similarly, we have calculated this summation n2 n L, that is 900 kilonewton meter. So that 900 is converted into Newton mm by multiplying it by 10 to the power 6 and divided by area and Young's modulus whatsoever is given, and that gives us horizontal deflection at joint B as 2.25 millimeter. So with this, now I think you have understood how to go for calculating the vertical deflection and horizontal deflection at a particular joint due to applied external forces in case of statically determinate trusses. So with this, we'll go through one more numerical, and we'll now start about analysis of statically indeterminate trusses. So for first example, this numerical is as stated. Analyze the pin jointed frame as shown in the figure number 4, and find the internal member forces due to the applied loads. And the second part is vertical deflection at joint C. For all members, it is given that area of cross section is 1200 millimeter square, and Young's modulus is 110 gigapascal, and diagram is something like this. Now in this case, even the number of joints are 4 and number of members are 3. If we go through the analysis of whether it is statically determinate or indeterminate, then internally indeterminacy gives us as DSI as M minus 2J minus 3. So M is number of members are 3, and 2J minus 3, joints are 4, so 2J minus 3 becomes 8 minus 3, it is 5. So it gives minus 1. Actually, it is not with that equation. It is to be seen over here that if we go for analysis of this particular truss, and if we consider free body diagram of joint C, then we will be having 3 member forces. Member force in member CA, CD and CB. And with method of joints, 3 unknowns cannot be calculated. Hence, to start with, we have to convert this structure into a basic determinate structure. So we will go through that procedure, solution of this numerical. As the given structure is statically indeterminate internally, the member DC, any one of the member is required to be removed. For this particular numerical, I have removed member DC from the structure as shown in figure 4a, something like this. So that member CD is removed, and considering joint C and applying equations of equilibrium, what we can calculate is, if we consider summation fx equal to 0, and if this member is removed, then this particular structure is called basic determinate structure. And if we apply summation fx equal to 0 by considering free body diagram of joint C and applying method of joints, then FAC cos 63.49. So this angle is 63.49 with this 2 meter and this as 4 meter. So FAC cos 63.49 minus FCB, this member force. FCB cos 45 must be equal to 0. So we get equation like FAC is equal to 1.584 FCB. Now if we apply summation Fy equal to 0, the equation will be FAC sin 63.49 plus FCB sin 45 minus 50. So this force, applied force, is there at joint C. This total must be equal to 0. So this gives us 2.125 FCB is equal to 50. So what we are doing is FAC is 1.584 FCB. This relation we know. So this FAC is substituted as 1.584 FCB over here. FAC as 1.584 and sin 63.49, that gives the calculation in terms of FCB, and this term plus this sin 45 FCB, this summation total together gives 2.125 FCB is equal to 50. So with this you can calculate what is FCB. So it gives FCB as 23.53 kilonewton tension over here, 23.53 kilonewton tension, and FAC, if we substitute this FCB as 23.53 multiplied by 1.584, So this gives us FAC as 37.27 kilonewton tension. So over here FCA is 37.27 kilonewton. Now that one member FCD was removed. Now what we need to go for to find what exactly the internal member forces are in original structure, we need to apply unit load at the position where the member was removed. So for further analysis, unit load is applied at the position of the member which is removed to convert the given structure as basic determinate structure. So to have a basic determinate structure, this member CD was removed. Okay, so we apply now unit load at that position, and the member forces due to that unit force are to be calculated. Okay, so what we'll now draw is this diagram. Okay, so now at this member which was removed, to convert the given structure into a basic determinate structure, unit load is applied and the member forces are calculated. So again, if we consider free body diagram of joint C, we will be having member force FCA and member force FCB and this unit load. So with unit load, what are the internal member forces can be calculated. So this equation summation Fx equal to 0 will be as it is. So FAC is equal to 1.584 FCB, because now in horizontal direction there is nothing. Okay, and in vertical direction what we will be having is FAC sin 63.49 minus FCB sin 45 plus 1 must be equal to 0. So this gives us 2.125 FCB equal to 1. So what we are doing over here is FAC is 1.584 FCB. So over in this equation FAC is substituted by FCB, and this calculation gives us 2.125 FCB is equal to 1. Now with this we can calculate what is FCB is 0.47, and that gives us it is a compression 0.47, and similarly FAC is internal member force due to unit load applied at CD. So that is 0.74 compression. So this gives us internal member forces due to unit load applied at the member which was removed to convert given structure into a basic determinate structure. Now further what is required? Now in addition to internal member forces in original structure, we need to find a vertical deflection at joint C. So now we need to apply unit load at that particular position where vertical deflection is to be calculated. So we'll go through that. To find a vertical deflection at joint C, applying a unit load at joint C, the internal member forces will be as shown in this figure 4C. So now we are applying unit load over here, and in basic determinate structure what are the internal forces. So now that will be the magnitude of internal forces in member AC and CB will be same, but the nature of the forces will change. Okay, because earlier this force was unit load applied vertically upward. So these two forces, internal member forces FAC and FBC, were compressive. Now it becomes tensile. And if we then go for that particular table for further calculations, so what we can write is first column as member, then second column that gives internal member forces in basic determinate structure due to applied external forces. So that was calculated 37.27 and 23.53. Now over here FCD was removed, hence it is written as 0. Now N dash, this N dash stands for the unit force applied at the position where the member was removed to convert given structure into a basic determinate structure. Now over there that unit load was applied at member CD, and due to that unit load, internal member forces in member CA and CB where both compressive 0.74 and 0.47. And small n1, this is due to the unit load applied where deflection is to be calculated, and the internal forces in basic determinate structure due to that unit load. So that is the tension 0.74 and 0.47. So length of each member is known. This is 4 meter and this was 2 meter and this was 4 meter. So with that you can calculate what are the distances or lengths of the member. So length of member CA is 4.47, CB is 5.66 and CD is 4. And now you need to have multiplication with this N1, capital N1, capital N dash and L. So these calculations are given in this table. In further table, that capital N1 square L. So N1 square. So that is or N1 is N1 square. So that is written over here. And then as usual, what we want finally is N1, small n1, capital NL. So this is written over here. But these are due to removing that member CD. Now we need to find what are the final member internal forces due to external forces applied. So external force applied was 50 kilonewton, and due to that in all the three members, member CA, member CD and member CB, what are the internal forces that are required to be calculated, because these second column N1 capital N1 is by removing this CD member. Actually their CD member is there in the given structure. So the internal member forces in actual structure are required to be calculated, and that are given by this capital N1 plus this capital N dash multiplied with T. And what that T stands for? T stands for summation N1 N dash L divided by N1 square L. So this total, now what we have done over here is N1 N dash L. So summation of that is calculated as 185.88, and this capital N1 square L. So that is 7.7. So if we calculate this, it gives us capital T as minus 24.13. So this is calculated. So if we know this, then the corrected internal member forces with this internal member force due to removing a particular member to convert given structure into basic determinate structure. So that member force plus the member force due to unit load applied at the position where that member was removed to convert given structure into basic determinate structure, and then what is this capital T. So that will give us internal member forces in true structure. And similarly, small n is final member internal forces due to unit load applied for deflection. And for that, this capital K is calculated. How it is calculated is, now we know that this N1 dash, now small n1 dash is the internal member forces when this CD member was removed, and then it is calculated as N1 dash multiplied by N dash, capital N dash L, divided by capital N1 square L. So this K gives us 0.48. So this sum is 3.7 and this sum is 7.7. So this total gives us minus 0.48, and if we multiply this equation, then we will get this small n. Now these n is final member forces due to unit load applied at the position where deflection is required. Now with this, as usual, we can find what are the deflections. So if it is a vertical deflection, you applied vertical unit load here. So vertical deflection at point C will be summation n, small n, capital N, L divided by A. Now this is calculated as these calculations 55.13 into 1.1 multiplied with length 4.47. So this gives us 271.07, and similarly this 0.7 multiplied with 34.87 multiplied with this length 5.66. So this gives us this calculation 138.15, and similarly third calculation is this 0.48 multiplied with 24.13, that is capital N small n multiplied with length is 4 meter. So this gives us calculation as 46.33, and every term in this calculation is in kilonewton meter. So this is converted into Newton mm by multiplying it by 10 to the power 6 divided by, and this was given area of cross section for all members is 1200, and Young's modulus was given as 110 gigapascal. So this gives us total calculation as 3.45 millimeter. So this is vertical deflection at joint C when that force 50 kilonewton force was up. You need to remember that this capital N1 over here in this second column, capital N1 stands for internal member forces due to externally applied force in the released structure. It is not in the actual structure. Actual structure may be statically indeterminate, it may be internally indeterminate or externally indeterminate. And in case of externally indeterminate structure, some of the reaction components are required to be removed. As well as in case of internal indeterminacy, you need to remove the number of members so as to convert a given structure into a basic determinate structure, or it is called as released structure. And this column capital N1, it is for internal member forces due to externally applied force in the released structure. Similarly, this capital N dash over here in third column, capital N dash are internal member forces in members due to application of unit load or unit force at redundant. Maybe it may be reaction or it may be a member in a released structure or in a basic determinate structure. And N1 dash, this next column N1 dash, these are internal member forces due to unit load applied at joint in direction at which the deflection is to be calculated in the released structure. So this capital N1, capital N dash and small n1 dash, this analysis is in basic determinate structure. These forces are not actual member forces, and then you need to find what are the actual internal member forces due to applied external forces and due to application of unit load in the direction at which the deflection is to be calculated, and then you need to use this equation to find the deflection, either it may be vertical or the horizontal deflection. So with this discussion we will conclude this lecture. I am thankful to you all for this lecture. Thank you.